once trade. Sadly, see go by the wayside if we don't get that opportunity. If we
And well, for tonight, we've got a pitching matchup. AJ Jinks, he's going to start for the second time against Albany this year. We've seen him a few times on the radio and Flyer Media Productions. Just remind us, for those tuning in, maybe haven't caught Flyer baseball.
Very hard fastball, and he's got a sharp curveball. When his curveball is on, he's tough to hit. On the base because they got a hit or out after 3 pitches because with a kid that throws as hard as AJ, often he gets deep in counts because there's a lot of swings and misses, and if they foul some balls off, and his pitch counts seem to get up fast, maybe third or fourth inning, and all of a sudden he's got a high pitch count. So not that you want him to take anything off his pitches, but if he's attacking the strike zone, make them a little more aggressive and keep his pitch count down, because when his stuff is on, he's very tough to hit.
And I got to ask, because I've seen AJ a few times this year, and it seems like he's coasting along, and then maybe a runner reaches, and it's a little different. Is it a mental thing with him, or am I just jumping too much to a conclusion with a small sample? Is there any difference with AJ pitching, whether he's in the stretch or from the full windup? Do you see any differences, Coach?
No, in fact, at the beginning of the year, we had him out of the stretch right away because he was having trouble, just in our preseason throwing balls out of the windup. We thought, you want to just try stretch. So he actually started the season, throwing exclusively out of the stretch, and then he's gone back to throwing windup. It's hard to say. I think part of it is he's such a tough competitor, and baseball is probably the one sport that can be, almost a disadvantage if he pitch he wants or doesn't get a call he wants. Sometimes he gets that mentality of you're just going to bear down, and in baseball sometimes that's counterproductive. But it's hard to put your finger on exactly what it is, and he's been far from bad. I don't make it sound like he's struggling at all, but we're from inning to inning, it's not always consistent where he's looks untouchable one inning, and then people tend to get to him, or he'll walk a couple batters. But so our key, especially moving into playoffs, is that he finds that consistency, because he's going to be a big part of it for us down the stretch here.
And we'll have the keys to the game. Yes. To the game, and next on Little Falls Radio, AM 960 KLTF, and a welcome to our audience that has joined us on Flyer Media Production. Our keys to the game with the head coach Chad Caddets come up in 1 minute. A pregame coverage on AM 960. Back in a minute. Chad Caddets, Little Falls Flyer head coach. So keys to victory today for Little Falls. What must the Flyers do to be successful?
We're excited about our offense. We want to keep our offense hot. In baseball, that's something you can't always count on that being there, but we want to keep the offensive numbers rolling like they have been. We're looking to kind of fine-tune our pitching a little bit these next few games, to get into more of those pitching numbers that we're a little more accustomed to. Um, otherwise, we want to win this conference outright. We want at least a share of it. With our last win, we have 2 conference games left, but we'd like to wrap up sole possession of that tonight and get that out of the way. It is senior night tonight, so we have all 7 of our seniors in the starting lineup tonight, which is kind of nice. That doesn't get to happen very often, so that's kind of exciting. And then it turned into a beautiful day today. The sun is shining, and just have some fun playing baseball.
All right, Chad Kaditz, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Corey.
Yeah, it's almost surprising how nice of a day this has really turned out to be. The sun is peeking out from the cloud cover, and it's partly cloudy skies here in Little Falls, but the temperature's up near 60 degrees, and earlier today it was downright chilly, but right to a featured matchup. This is both a section and conference game for both teams, Little Falls and Albany. Media production and Little Falls radio throughout the course, but just as important of a game as this is for the Flyers, I'm sure the same could be said for the Albany Huskies. Now, Little Falls overall on the year and 2 in the Granite Ridge Conference. They dropped a game to Becker. They also lost 3rd and 4th respectively right now in the Granite Ridge Conference. Little Falls is 8-2. St. Cloud Cathedral's 9-4 in the conference. Foley is 7-4. The Flyers 20 regular season games. Looks like they're going to be able to get all of them in as long as they get a couple more next week. On Friday, tomorrow, Little Falls travels to Monticello, and then next Tuesday, Little Falls is at Beckers, so this is the final home game of the regular season. The Flyers have all but wrapped up a postseason home game in the section. They will be one of the top 4 seeds, likely either the number 2 or 3 seed. They've been back and forth with Alexandria this week. Alec has since jumped back into the number 2 spot. Little Falls was in that spot briefly on Tuesday, but the Cardinals have won a couple games since then, and with their victories over bigger schools, and that jumps their QRF ranking slightly above Little Falls, despite the Flyers continuing to win. Alexandria has been the same. Well, this is senior day here for Little Falls. 7 seniors on the Flyer baseball program, and let's mention each one of them in the starting lineup for Little Falls. Austin Wise, Mitchell Boros, Hunter Swanson, Adam Josephson, Derek Poser, Brett Chakowski, and Noah Gendro. Each of them will be starting for the Flyers. Now, as for the lineup for Little Falls defensively, AJ Jenks is on the mound. We heard Chad Kaditz talking about the hard-throwing stuff that he has, sometimes a late break on that curveball. That's how it's really best described. But when he is pounding the home plate, catching the balls and strikes for the Flyers, Brett Chakowski, the designated hitter, Derek Poser, will be hitting in Chakowski's spot in the order, but Brett Chakowski is the catcher. Hunter Swanson over at first base. Second base for the Flyers, Joe Allholm, and the shortstop on the other edge of the infield, Jake Capan. And at third base, where A.J. Jenks, when he's not on the mound, the outfield from left to right, Noah Jen in left field, Austin and Adam Joseph. Senior day here for Little Falls. Again, the 7 seniors. This year's team, Austin Wise, Mitchell Boros, Hunter Swanson, in last year's third place run to the state tournament. They finished, they lost in the semifinals, but then came back and beat Benilde St. Margaret's for third place, and the Flyers claimed third as a team at the Class 3A state tournament last year. Leading things off for the Albany Huskies, Derek Mellisman. Mellisman is a shortstop, a right-handed batter. A.J. Jenks also a right-hand take home. Thank everybody for listening in on Little Falls Radio, or maybe tuning in and seeing the game with Flyer Media Productions. several different avenues. This will be the last athletic broadcast of the year. This one's a grounder, 100 to clean play that time on the infield for the Flyers. Joe Allholm over to Hunter Swanson, and Mellisman ground out, and a quick put out for Little Falls. The Flyers beat Albany. The Flyers had 8 runs in the top of the first. They jumped out early, and really since that time, their offense has been clicking. Attempted bunt that's going to be fielded in foul territory by Chakowski. Isaac Nett is batting for the starting first base for the Huskies. Nett, the designated hitter, laid down. Pretty decent bunt, but it went into foul territory, and Chakowski, once he saw it get into foul territory, fielded it. If it rolls back in fair territory, it's a fair ball. So as soon as it was clear that it was in foul territory, Chakowski, the catcher, made the smart play behind home plate. Then a fastball challenging the hitter up near the numbers, right by him. But one of the difficult things about A.J. Jinks trying to hit off of Jinks as a pitcher is he's got that devastating fastball, but then he's got a breaking ball that can change the hitter's timing. This time, a little bit of an off-speed pitch, but it was high, just below the chin height. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count to the number 2 hitter, Isaac Nett. Huskies batting with 1 out, top of the first inning, just underway. A.J. Jinks swings and a miss, strike 3. It popped out of the glove of Chakowski, so he has to pick it up in plenty of time to throw to Swanson at first. And then Capan and Allholm and the rest of the Flyer infield, including Boros over at third, throw it around the horn. But it ends up being a swinging strikeout. And then the throw from the catcher to first, and that's the second out of the inning. Ryan Olmscheid, the catcher for the Huskies, the next to bat. Swing and a miss at a fastball that had some break action late, diving down and away from the right-handed bat of Ryan Olmscheid. A.J. Jinks for Little Falls. A breaking ball, and that time Olmscheid way out in front of it, again down and away. So A.J. Jinks, 2 straight pitches down and away, but the first one more of a fastball, and that last one a curveball breaking down and away. We'll see what A.J. Jinks comes back with here on an 0-2 count, a pitcher's count. And a fastball right down the heart, swinging strike 3. 2 strikeouts for A.J. Jinks in a 1-2-3 defensive inning for the Flyers. So we go to the bottom of the first. Little Falls and Albany scoreless, but the Flyers to bat in the home half of the first in 1 minute on Little Falls Radio AM 960 KLTF and partnering with Flyer Media Productions. Back in a minute. That the Huskies have, and this could be a good challenge for them too, because if it truly is the top arm for Albany, this would probably be a pitcher that would go on day 1 of the postseason. So if Little Falls ends up with a first-round matchup with the Huskies, right now that would not be the case. The Flyers would be the 3 seed and Albany the 7, but there's plenty of time for Little Falls to jump over Alexandria or even Albany to climb up in the standings. This could be a potential matchup. Now the Flyers lineup, they're going to start it off with Austin Wise on senior day here. The center fielder will be followed by Joe Allholm, and then Jake Capan, who hit one off the Exchange Arena in the last game we called. A.J. Jenks will be batting cleanup for the Flyers. Batting the number 5 spot, protecting Jenks, is Hunter Swanson. He'll be followed by the designated hitter, Derek Poser, batting for Chakowski in the number 6 spot. Then the 7, 8, 9 hitters in order, Mitch Boros, Adam Josephson, and Noah Gendro. A first pitch, a strike to Wise, who is squaring up to bunt. Take the pitch for a strike. Now defensively, Adam Winkles is a sophomore, but he was 4-1 last year for Albany. Breaking ball down, swing and a miss from Wise, 0-2 the count. The sophomore for the Huskies is 2-2 this season. And this pitch down below the knees, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, so many of the Flyer hitters looking at the combination of power and speed. This one bounced in front of. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. So it was an 0-2 count. Wise has battled back to get it back to a better possibility for him. Wise is leading the team in batting average, 411 this year. And here he lifts one foul and out of play. Flyers also really look at the quality at-bat numbers. It's even higher in that regard for Wise. Here a 2-2 pitch after the last pitch was fouled. This one inside, brushing the knees off the plate, and the count is full. It started off 0-2, and Austin Wise has got this to a 3-2 count. Big pitch here in the bottom of the first inning, and a hard drive through the hole between first and second. Austin Wise is aboard. There's a lot of great things about that at bat. Now, he started off 0-2, but then used his close pitches, especially that 0-2 pitch laying off. Eventually got it to a full count. Right side of the hole between second and first, and gets a single. Squaring up the bunt, and that's a second straight Flyer to square. Is pitching. Ryan Holmes pitching for the Huskies. Anders Omdahl is over at first and trying to hold Wise close. Head first slide, and this one bounces up. Second. It was a delayed start, but he's got the speed that it's going to be a feet first slide, and Austin Wise is going to take second base. I don't think you're going to be able to count that as a stolen base, but if it is, it's 48 on the year for Little Falls, 47 on the year coming into today, and they were looking for 50 on the season. Wise certainly a threat to steal, and Winkles now. An 0-1 pitch, a grounder up the middle, fielded by the shortstop, and the throw is up the line. This is going to allow a run to score, and Allholm is going to go to second, then he's going to round second, he's going for third. The throw to third base a little late, and Joe Allholm is aboard at third base. Wise easily came in to score that time. And I'm going to charge that as an error on the shortstop, a 3-base error, because it looked like it was a simple grounder to the shortstop and a solid throw across the field. Should have got at least the 1 out, but instead there's nobody out. For Capan, who lifts one high in the air, there's a lot of room in foul territory, giving chase. The catch is made by the third baseman, a nice grab by Carter Philippi, and Jake Capan flies out to the third baseman in foul territory. There's really not a lot of wind here in Little Falls. Every once in a while a breeze picks up, and that might have been pushing it back in towards fair territory, or at least on that side of the fence, but just about out of play, but up against the fence. The third baseman for the Huskies made the catch, and that was a big out too, because the runner's still at third base, and now there's 1 out. So 1 out, runner at third, 1 hit, and an error this inning. And this one is driven well towards right center. Back. And this one is little delayed reaction. I had to kind of watch it. I was watching the reaction of A.J. Jenks, the hitter for the Flyers, to the tar path in right field. It's a 2-run home run for A.J. Jenks. Allhome comes in from third base. And that two-run home run by A.J. Jenks puts Little Falls in front 3-0. That one, the opposite field power for A.J. Jenks, hitting that one out, the junior for the Flyers, and he's given himself some insurance runs in the first inning. Little Falls is up 3-0. They put up 8 runs in the first inning the last time these two teams played in Albany. Hunter Swanson now to bat next. Derek Poser would follow. This is senior day, senior night for Little Falls. Swanson chops one off of home plate and foul. So the count, no balls, 2 strikes to one of 7 seniors for Little Falls, Hunter Swanson. In fact, in the lineup, the next 5 hitters are all seniors for Little Falls. That pitch missed low, perhaps off the inner edge. But below the knees, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hunter Swanson. Swanson holds up his swing, and the count now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Several things happening here in the first inning. A patient at bat from Austin Wise. An error allowing Allhome to reach, got all the way over to third base, and then a home run by A.J. Jenks. There was a fly out in foul territory by Capan in between those at-bats. This last pitch high up near the eyes, and a full count now to Swanson. And that one low, ball 4. That is the second time a hitter was behind, no balls and 2 strikes, and came all the way back in the at-bat to force a full count pitch and then reach. Austin Wise reached on a single on a 3-2 pitch, and there Swanson was walked. So this inning for Little Falls, as I have it, 2 hits, a runner that reached on an error, and a home run, and a walk. This pitch, breaking ball down low, ball 1. Underhanded catch made by the catcher. That is Ryan Olmscheid behind home plate. Swanson is the runner at first, and this pitch taken for a strike, 1-1 the count. The rest of the infield, we mentioned Anders Omdahl is at first. Second base is Carter Kotzer. The shortstop is Derek Mellisman. And third base is Carter Philippi. Pitch to the outfield in a second, but this last pitch missed down and away. Ball 2, 2-1 the count. The outfield left to right. Ethan Navratil is in left. Center field Owen Meyer. And right field is Tyler Ritter for the Huskies. 2-1 count, 1 down, and this pitch down low, ball 3. So 3 balls, 1 strike to Derek Poser batting for the Flyers. And on deck, Mitch Boros, third baseman for the Flyers. Runner goes, it's a grounder to the second baseman, a delayed run then. Now it's going to be a 6-4-3, but the double play not turned. Derek Poser was able to reach on a fielder's choice. A 6-4-3 fielder's choice. Swanson was forced out at. Poser reached first on the fielder's choice. Swanson took a couple of steps, but then when the ball was hit in play, he had to pause and make sure it wasn't going to be a line-out double play. And when it was hit to the shortstop, there was plenty of time to get the out force at second. The turn to first not in time. Derek Poser, just another athletic, speedy runner for Little Falls. 47 stolen bases on the year coming into today. Wise took second on, had to be an error earlier. Now this one's driven hard and deep to center field, but the catch is made up near the warning track. Mitch Boros flies out to, but a deep, deep hit to 65, 370. Who take as the Flyers defend. We go to the top of the second. The score, Little Falls 3, Albany nothing. Back in a minute. KLTF and Flyer Media Productions.
Running a business is tough enough. Rogers on the ride. Routine maintenance like oil changes, brakes.
The leadoff hitter for the Albany Huskies. Peaks of sunshine. There is a few clouds in the sky, partly cloudy on this Thursday, May 18th. A pitch down and away, chasing after was Winkles. Swing and a miss, strike two, so 0-2 the count. I'm showing 54 degrees, a slight breeze. We were expecting a little cooler earlier today, and I'm not disappointed by 54 and a nice breeze. A pleasant afternoon for Flyer Baseball, Flyer Media Productions, and Little Falls Radio KLTF. An 0-2 pitch, and this is a breaking ball. It's a slow chopper back to the mound. The one Jinx in plenty of time, and Winkles retired on a 1-3 ground out. Now that one got back to the pitcher. Just a one-hopper. And A.J. Jenks, who's used to playing the blistering shots on the corner of the infield at third base, made it look easy fielding that one and then flipped it over to first. And the leadoff hitter is retired. That last pitch, a curveball diving away at the last minute outside the glove of Tchaikovsky. It's just ball one. Nobody on base to advance. So 1-0 the count to Tyler Ritter, the right fielder for Albany. This fastball missed down 2-0. A Little Falls coached by Chad Kaditz, Sean Allholm, the assistant coach. Also on the staff for Little Falls, Brad Check with the junior varsity. This time on a 2-0 pitch, Jinx lost his footing, and the pitch was a fastball down and in near the legs. The hitter, Tyler Ritter, had to get out of the way, but you could tell that was caused by the feet just slipping out from underneath Jinx. A 3-0 pitch, and then a fastball across the plate for a strike. 3-1 the count. So A.J. Jinx. Little Falls looking to see if they can get a consistent start from him. This pitch misses low, ball 4. It's a walk. So Jinx has put a runner aboard here with one down. We're in the top of the second inning. Little Falls and Albany. The Flyers, the defending Section 8 3A champs. One of the goals defensively for Little Falls is after they score and take the lead or score any runs, hold the team scoreless the next inning. A.J. Jenks did do a good job of getting the first runner retired this inning, as he did in the first when he worked a 1-2-3 inning. Well, there's one down and now a runner on first. Jenks having to work from a stretch. Missed on the first pitch, but comes back with a strike to Ethan Navragil, left fielder, a left-handed bat. The runner at first taking the lead. 1-1 count and a pickoff move over to first. Good location on the pickoff move, the little snap move by A.J. Jenks, who had to turn across his body because he's a right-hander. Sometimes the left-handers have the benefit on the pickoff move where you don't have to turn across the body. A decent pickoff move from Jenks. That last pitch high, ball 2. 2-1 the count. So Carter Philippi is on deck for Albany. Little Falls leads 3-0. The importance of trying to shut a team out the inning after you score a run. This is a foul ball, and it's out of play. Tchaikovsky popped out of the stance as catcher for the Flyers, but watched it go out of play towards some of the vehicles lining, it would be 11th Street. That runs alongside Flyer Field in front of the Exchange Arena. The clock off in the distance. Little Falls baseball. A 2-2 count. Jenks gets the sign and misses high. And again, might have lost his footing just a little bit on that delivery. Seen that happen to him a couple times this inning. There was a lot of rain in Little Falls the last couple of days. The field is in pretty good shape. The ground a little soggy, but this one a foul ball and going to be out of play. Another 3-2 pitch will be upcoming. That last pitch might have been a little high from Jinx, but he was challenging the hitter with that high fastball. A.J. Jinx got a couple of strikeouts in the first inning, surrendered the one-out walk to the last batter. Now a 3-2 count. Runner goes, and the pitch is taken for ball 4. So Navratil also draws a one-out walk. And now Carter Philippi will bat for the Huskies. Little Falls at home this year, 3-3. On the road, they're 7-0. Runners at first and second. Capan at short, playing some mind games with the runner at second. AJ misses high, ball 1. The Flyers' remaining schedule, regular season, they'll be at Monticello tomorrow and then at Becker on Tuesday, 9 days off before the opening round of the playoffs, or 7 days off. They will start the playoffs the following Tuesday, May 30th. If the playoffs were to start today, Little Falls would be hosting Fergus Falls. And the throw to second, close play. Ball might not have been caught clean by the shortstop Capan, but the runner was a delayed slide back to first as Jake Capan snuck behind the lead runner Tyler Ritter and almost got the tag out. But again, a 1-1 pitch with one down, second inning. And Jinx misses just low, ball 2. 2-1 the count. That was a closer pitch, but just below the knees on the outside half. Albany has come into this one losing their last 6. Little Falls comes into this one winning their last 6. This pitch taken for a strike, 2-2 the count. Flyers throughout the course of this one will be able to share some of the stats with you. On this 2-2 pitch with one out, runners on first and second. And it's a called third strike. Big strikeout for A.J. Jinx against Carter Philippi. And Philippi is called out looking. And that's out number 2 of the top of the second inning. A.J. Jinx has appeared in more games as a pitcher than any other for the Flyers. Swing and a miss, strike 1. On a pitch diving down. Jinx' record is 1 win, 1 loss. He's got 20 innings pitched in 8 different appearances. An ERA of 7 on the season. And this pitch down and away, ball 1. So 1-1 the count with runners at first and second. But Jinx has thrown 256 balls or strikes and 185 balls, so better than 1-1. It's about 2-1, not quite, in strikes to balls from A.J. Jinx. That last pitch missed high, ball 2, 2-1 the count. But it's been consistency for the junior for Little Falls. Runner taking the lead at both bases, and this one down and away, ball 3. So 3-1 the count. There are 2 outs here. We're in the top of the second inning. Little Falls scored 3 in the bottom of the first. And now a swing and a foul tip. And the count will be full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. If you're looking for the lowest ERA on the team, well, Himley has not given up a run in 4 innings pitched. But then you look at Adam Josephson with 23 innings, giving up just 6 runs. A swing and a foul tip, but holding on behind home plate, the catcher Tchaikovsky, and Owen Meyer strikes out swinging. Once again, back-to-back strikeouts end the inning. This time there were 2 walks beforehand, but Little Falls, despite giving up a couple of base runners, does not surrender a run and goes to the bottom of the second with the score remaining. Little Falls 3, Albany nothing. The Flyers will bat next. Adam Josephson, Noah Gendro, and Austin Wise due up next inning when we return in 1 minute on Little Falls Radio KLTF and online fallsradio.com, also partnering with Flyer Media Productions. Back in a minute. AM 960 KLTF and online fallsradio.com, also with Flyer Media Productions. Leading things off this bottom of the second inning where Little Falls leads 3-0 is Adam Josephson, the starting right fielder, who watches a pitch that bounced about 8 to 10 inches in front of home plate. Ball 1, 1-0 the count. Sun peeking out again behind some of the light cloud cover. 54, 55 degrees here in Little Falls. Fastball taken for a strike. Count even at a ball and a strike to Josephson. Adam Josephson is one of 7 seniors for Little Falls. This pitch down and away, ball 2. 2-1 the count. 14 different hitters for Little Falls have RBIs on the season. Josephson has 9 of the 111 RBIs coming into today. This pitch taken for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Couple more RBIs today, including by a 2-run home run from AJ Jenks. This pitch low, ball 3. So another full count pitch. Winkles, the starter for Albany. Maybe the best numbers for the Huskies this year. And this is a chopper. It's a 3-bouncer to the third baseman. The throw across the diamond a little low, and it's not fielded cleanly. Josephson is going to take second. So Adam Josephson will reach. And that was a tough play for the third baseman. You've got to charge an error on the third baseman because it allowed Josephson to run over to second. You could make a case that that would be an infield hit, but I'm just going to rule it an outright error on the third baseman because the throw did beat him. It was just up the line and in the dirt a little bit, and the first baseman could not field it cleanly. So Adam Josephson is at second on, as I have it, an error. This is a grounder to the third baseman trying to make the tag, and then the throw across the diamond. They get the out at first, but he did not make the tag. Joseph avoid the tag and not run out of the baseline. That's important because if he runs out of the baseline, it counts as an out. But Noah Gendro is put out on a 6-3 ground out. So with 1 out, the top of the order coming to the plate, Austin Wise, his first plate appearance, he fell behind 0-2 and then came back to battle back to a 3-2 pitch, and he singled to right. Here he lifts this one to left field and back towards the wall. This one's still carrying off the fence. It's going to be extra bases, a stand-up double for Austin Wise. And the run, Adam Josephson can walk in from third base on a double by Austin Wise center. So after a single to right field, then a double to left center, power to all portions of the park. Wise having a great day at the plate thus far. A breaking error against the shortstop. Then he came around to score on a home run by A.J. Jinks. This one is hit, backhanded by the shortstop. The long throw across the diamond. And this one is going to be an infield hit, but again gets by the first baseman. And Allholm is going to reach second. That time the speed of Joe Allholm was going to beat the throw as I saw it. So we're going to give Allholm a single. Another error on the shortstop, a throw. Austin Wise. So now runners at second and third, and the score is Little Falls 4, Albany nothing. And this one's hit well towards left field, backtracking, and the catch is made. Little Falls will have a runner take up from third. Austin Wise comes in to score. That one was hit well by Capan. It did not quite get out of the ballpark, but a fly out to deep left. And an RBI sacrifice fly will drive in a run. Little Falls now leads 5-0, and there's a runner at second base. Joe Allholm had to stay in second, but he had a pretty good lead to see if he could score if that one hit down for a hit. Now for a run, A.J. Jinks, who hit a two-run home run his last time up, is at the plate. Taken for a strike after the first one was two. It's an 0-2 count to A.J. Jinks, who's 1 for 1 with a two-run home run. So 4 strikeouts. To score on a feet-first slide, Joe Allholm, and advancing to second is A.J. Another error on the shortstop. Has had a rough day here. A Little Falls, the speed can get to a team, but Mellisman's had some troubles at short. And there's a conference on the mound. Of these 6 runs, only a few of them would be earned runs, but they're runs nonetheless. Little Falls has put up some crooked numbers. You know, a crooked number they consider the big inning, 3 runs or more. The base 2 strategy is big inning, 3 runs or more. Answer back if a team scores, answer back the next half innings. S stands for score first. The Flyers have done that. E, don't commit any errors, and then the 2 is for 2 outs and scoring runs, and the Flyers have been doing a lot of that here today. All of their offensive goals hitting them in the first couple innings. That first pitch missed low, ball 1, except for the answer back where Little Falls hasn't had the opportunity because Albany has not yet scored. 1-0 the count to Hunter Swanson, and now a pitch outside, a breaking ball, 2-0 the count. Swanson drew a walk his last time up. He batted and was behind in the count, no balls, 2 strikes, and came back and walked. And now a pitch low and away, 3-0 the count. So after Swanson fell behind 0-2, he's now seen, between the last 2 at-bats, 7 straight out of the strike zone balls, and this one taken for a strike on a 3-0 pitch. The runner at second, not surprised. Now a 3-1 count, and Hunter Swanson, he'll have the green light if he gets a good pitch, but he won't have to swing. A close pitch, he watches it, it's called a strike. 3-2 the count. Now the aggression at the plate will pick up a little bit here on a 3-2 count with a runner at second, 2 down. Little Falls lead 6-0. A fly ball in foul territory, and this one's going to go out of play. So again, the score is Little Falls 6, Albany nothing. The Flyers scored 3 runs in the the bottom of the first. They scored 3 runs in the bottom of the second. They're still threatening. Last time these two teams played, Little Falls jumped out to an 8-0 lead in the first inning. Albany came back, made it a game down the stretch, but it was 13-8. Little Falls won in Avon. A 3-2 pitch, and this one is lined down the line, and it's foul. Oh, that was a very, very close play. The umpire right there to make the call. but that was very close to a double for Hunter Swanson right down the first base line. So Hunter Swanson, as we get a chance to look at him, it's fun, the little mini games that the players play too, where they'll focus on the end of the bat, refocus all their energy, and wait another 3-2 pitch. And Swanson took a cut, lifted it foul, but again, just taking a couple practice half swings, refocus, and here comes another 3-2 pitch. Every pitch so important the way the Flyers play this game. And that pitch, it was down in the zone, and Swanson wanted to protect it. That was a very defensive swing, kind of chopped down, got a piece of it, and stays alive. Another 3-2 pitch upcoming. Looked like Hunter Swanson wasn't comfortable letting that one go, and at the last minute chopped it into the dirt to earn another opportunity on a 3-2 pitch. This one a breaking ball. He's a little out in front of it. It's a high fly ball to the second baseman underneath, makes the grab, and Swanson flies out to the second baseman on third and final out of the inning, but not before a couple more errors and also several hits, a walk, and some runs. Little Falls add 3 more runs. Third inning, Little Falls 6, Albany nothing. We're back in a 60 KLTF Little Falls, online fallsradio.com, and partnering with Flyer Media Productions back on KLTF to Flyer.
Wenner & Company is a regional independent CPA firm that's dedicated to serving clients with professionalism.
Some of the ERAs from the Flyer pitching staff, not what we've seen the last few years where we have been spoiled, where there's usually about 3 pitchers with an ERA of 1 or less. Still a very good pitching staff, and A.J. Jenks, when he's on, is as good as they come with the stuff that he has, that hard fastball and then a breaking ball to complement it and a curveball thrown in. Here he misses on pitch 1, count to the leadoff hitter, Carter Kotzer, the number 9 hitter in the order for the Huskies. That pitch, low ball 2, so 2-0 the count. The thing for AJ has always been consistency this year. Rocks and fires, a fastball taken for a strike, 2-1 the count. You look at some of the names for Little Falls when you get to the postseason. I don't know what order they're going to throw them out, but Derek Poser, Mitch Boros, A.J. Jenks, also Adam Josephson. The numbers that Josephson has put up this year would consider him the staff's ace. I don't think he would say he's the hardest throwing, but he's been the most effective this year for the Flyers. 2-2 count. And this is a grounder to the shortstop, backhanded by Capan. A long throw, one hopper to Swanson, and he digs it up for the play. It's a 6-3 ground out, and Carter Kotzer is retired. Now, on the scoring play, when you're looking back at the end of the game, that'll just be a 6-3 ground out, but it was a fine defensive play. Backhand made by Jake Capan, and then throwing across his body. It was a one-hopper, and Swanson had to dig it out of the dirt. It bounced about 5-6 inches, or about a foot in front of him, and he had to pick it up. He got it in the webbing. That's the type of play the first baseman for Albany has not been able to make today. And that time the Flyers turn it, so a 6-3 ground out, and now Derek Mellismith will bat next. Mellismith is 0 for 1 on a ground out to the second baseman. Here, first pitch out of the strike zone. ball, 1 strike. Derek Melismoon of the Huskies, 1-1 count, and a breaking ball that rose up and got away from A.J. Jenks, the pitcher for the Flyers. He knew it as soon as he let it go, but it just ends up being high, ball 2. So 2-1 the count. Fastball and a high fly ball. This one lifts over my head and towards the tennis courts. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Little Falls trying to keep everything rolling towards the postseason. Now, there was a few years ago, Little Falls used to have the first game be a single elimination game, and then it would go to the double elimination format. Because there are now 4 classes in baseball, Little Falls in Class 8 3A, the section. Because of that, it's double elimination right away in the first round of the playoffs. Last pitch, low and away, backhanded by out of the dirt by out, 3-2 count, and then a swing and a miss. Strike 3. The strikeouts are starting to pile up here as we are in the 3rd inning, top of the 3rd. Have all been victimized. 5 different hitters on strikeouts. This is the first time that A.J. Jenks is facing a hitter. He struck out the first time around, and this one's hit well toward the field. And in the corner, it's going to fall. Could be extra base. Adam Josephson gets it back into the infield as quick as he can. Now before a stand-up double with 2 outs by Isaac Nett, the designated hitter. And the first hit of the ball for Albany comes with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd. Now, Jenks did it so quickly he was able to retire once again the first batter of an inning for the 3rd straight frame. There are now 2 outs and a runner on second after that double into the right field corner. Breaking ball taken for a strike to Ryan Olmscheid, who struck out swinging his last time up. An 0-1 count with 2 outs, runner at second. 6-0, Little Falls in front. And this one bounces in front of home plate and smothered well by Brett Chakowski. That one he deadened off the chest protector about 6 inches in front of home plate. It bounced off of home plate. He had to go off his chest protector and just smothered it right there where he could stand up and pick it up, and the runner had to stay at second. And Ryan Olmscheid, the hitter, checks his swing at the high fastball, did not offer. So the count now 2 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs, runner at second. You're listening to Flyer Baseball on AM 960 KLTF, and also this evening we're presenting the broadcast on Flyer Media Productions. This pitch is lifted high and in foul territory. It's going to go back behind the bleachers. Chakowski chased after it but didn't have a chance at the play. Corey Fink bringing you the play-by-play coverage on Little Falls Radio and also Flyer Media Productions. A 1-2 count with 2 outs. Bottom of the 2nd. There have been a few errors, but also a few hits sprinkled in each one of those innings. Another 2-strike count, and this one's lifted high in the air. This one might stay in fair territory or in foul territory. A chance to make the play. The catch is made by Brett Chakowski. He overran it a little bit, but was able to reach back and makes the grab and ends up doing a half a somersault there on the ground. But Brett Chakowski, sticking with it, makes the grab, and Olmscheid flies out in foul territory for the 3rd and final out of the 3rd inning. That means we go to the bottom of the 3rd. The score, Little Falls 6, Albany nothing. Batting for the Flyers is Derek Post. On AM 960 KLTF, online fallsradio.com, and also many different avenues to watch Flyer Media Productions. Back to Flyer Field in 1 minute. and today partnering with Flyer Media Productions. And if I could just say a few notes about that too, Flyer Media Productions come a long way here this year under the direction of Dave Gertz and also with the help from all the students putting together this product and partnering with the Little Falls radio station, where we're always proud to support Little Falls athletics and athletics of all the teams in our area. This partnership has made a lot of sense and worked out very well here this year. Leading off this inning for the Flyers is Derek Poser, the designated hitter who's hitting for Brett Schakowsky, who made that inning-ending catch. And this one is a foul ball, and it's going to go right behind the tar path that was extended a little earlier this year. It always separated the softball and baseball field, and now they've extended it all the way out to 11th Street. This pitch bounced low in the dirt in front of home plate. 1-2 strike. Adam Winkel is the pitcher. He's a sophomore, second-year varsity player for the out near the warning track, 365 plus feet off the bat of Mitch Boros. One down and away, 2-0 the count. Little Falls, 6 straight wins, and right now on top 6-0. And this one's a grounder, a two-hopper to the third baseman, throw across the diamond, little high, and this one's going to get away. It's a throwing error, and then advancing to second on the play is Mitch Boros. So Mitch Boros is aboard on an error. So that will be an error against the third baseman. And safe at second base after it's all said and done, Mitch Boros with 1 out here. And we are in the bottom half of the third inning. Flyers trying to score for the third straight frame. They had 3 in the first, 3 in the second. This one gets away from the catcher, and taking third is Mitch Boros. Heads up base running. And that one, it was off the chest of Olmscheid, the catcher, smothered down in the dirt, but good speed, and Boros takes third. And now Adam Josephson hits this one to deep in the outfield, right center, giving chase. And this one's going to drop in for a hit, a two-bagger, an RBI double for Adam Josephson. So Josephson is aboard with a double, and Mitch Boros comes in to score. And Little Falls has scored for the third straight inning. That time some of the seniors, Mitch Boros and Adam Josephson together. And it's an RBI double. This pitch is taken for a strike to Noah Gendro. Noah has 4 RBIs for the year and a chance here to make it 5 if he can get a single to the outfield with Josephson at second, who showed good wheels on that double to right center. Well, the center fielder, Owen Meyer, and the right fielder, Tyler Ritter for the Huskies, converged on that last play, but could not make the grab. And it fell in for a double. Easily coming in to score from third was Mitch Boros, who took third on a smothered ball earlier that at bat. Now 1-2 strikes to count to Noah Gendro. He grounded out to the shortstop his last time up, runner at second. And this one's high in the air and lifted in foul territory towards the dugout. And looks like the catch was made. I got a little bit of a blind spot here just to the left of the Flyer dugout, and that one was made in foul territory, the grab. So Noah Gendro flies out in foul territory. And now there are 2 outs, and Austin Wise, who has singled and doubled and scored both times, is at the plate. He singled to right, and then he doubled to left center. Power to all portions of the park and speed. When I'm saying a line like that, it's not just Wise, but you could be describing Capan, Jenks, any one of these Flyer hitters. This one's a high fly ball. It's coming in left field. The grab is made. Wise. That one just hung up off the... he swung and got the contact on the top of the bat at bat. And Wise flies out to left field for the third and final out of the third inning. But the Flyers had another run and now lead 7-0. We'll go to the top of the fourth. Little Falls 7, Albany nothing. We'll be back in 1 minute on AM 960 KLTF and online fallsradio.com. Also with Flyer Media Productions back in 1 minute.
At Central Minnesota Credit Union, we understand it's not always easy to get to one of our 17 branch locations.
Remember, Scotland Service.
AM 960 KLTF online at fallsradio.com. The MSBN site also with fallsradio.com. AJ Jenks is the pitcher. And right now, I believe Mitch Boros is the third baseman, although actually there's going to be a change. Looks like defensively, Sam Himley is going to go over to third base. So a little change in the defensive order for the Flyers. Allholm is still at second. Capan is at short. Himley is now at third base for the Flyers. A.J. Jenks pitching. Brett Chakowski behind home plate. That's the infield. A little bit of a substitution change made there. We are on senior day for Little Falls, and 7 seniors all started the game for the Flyers. We're now in the top of the fourth inning, and Little Falls in control, 7-0. A.J. Jenks, strike at the knees, 0-1 the count. Adam Winkles grounded out to Jenks, a pitcher. I don't often believe that the pitchers are oftentimes your best defensive player, but A.J. Jenks has flashed leather on many games from third base that I've called. Jake Capan has been a solid shortstop, really defensively the entire lineup for the Flyers. Swing and a miss, strike 2. But A.J. Jenks is more than a capable infielder. And on the last at-bat by Winkles, a grounder to Jenks, he had plenty of time to react and make the play. Now a breaking ball, and this one's lifted high in the air. It's going to go over my head, out of play. So another 1-2 pitch upcoming. Now Jenks, his numbers so far on the day, he's got 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. He had back-to-back walks in the second inning. He has given up a couple of hits. But that's it. No runs here. Facing the leadoff hitter in the top of the fourth, and swinging a foul ball again, back and out of play. I'm not superstitious because I know that's unlucky, but one of the goals for a pitcher is to make sure to get the first batter every inning retired. And so far, Jenks has done that. He's 3 for 3. We're now in the fourth inning. And this one checking the swing and did not offer at it. The pitch is low, and it got by Chakowski. Ball 2. Flyers might have caught a break that the Husky hitter held up on that, because if he swung around, Winkles might have been able to reach on a strikeout because the ball got to the backstop. A 2-2 count, fastball, and this one's driven towards right center and back. A catch is made. Nice grab that time by Adam Josephson in right field. I was fighting the sun as I was looking out towards it towards home plate, but that meant he probably didn't have to battle the sun in right field. but he tracked it down, and Adam Winkles flies out to right. So now 4 for 4. A.J. Jinks and the Flyers defensively retiring the first hitter of an inning. A Little Falls scored in each of the first 3 frames, and so far they've answered and not surrendered a run the next half inning. We're in the top of the 4th, and Little Falls is on top 7-0. Fastball taken for a strike, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. This is a Flyer baseball game today, featured on AM 960 KLTF and also with Flyer Media Productions' last home regular season game. And this one is driven towards left field and back, and a grab is made in left. Oh, a nice catch that time in left field by Noah Gendro, the senior, who was running back and got turned around at the last minute but made the grab. Tyler well to left field, but a catch was made by Noah Gendro. Did a full spin at the very end, but a catch made, and that's out number 2, and now there's 2 outs, nobody on, top of the 4th, and this is a strike at the knees, 0-1 the count. A baseball game here, Flyer Media Productions and Little Falls Radio. Little Falls, I can say confidently, they're going to host a playoff game on Tuesday, May 30th. This one bounces in front of home plate. So the count will even up at a ball and a strike to Ethan Navratil, the left fielder for Albany. The Flyers right now, it's the closest spot in the QRF ranking. Alexander's at 93.1. They're at 87.9, Little Falls is. As a fastball, strike at the knees, across the heart of the plate, but right down in the zone, painting the lower portion of the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count now to Navratil. Well, the Flyers in a 2-3 battle, a bit of a cushion ahead of the number 4 spot, and the number 1 team, Bemidji, is walking away with the number 1 seed. The throw from third across the diamond, a little low from Himley to Swanson, but in time, and Navratil grounds out on a 5-3 ground out, and that's a 1-2-3 top half of the 4th. So we play 7 innings. We've gone midway, and the score right now is Little Falls 7, Albany nothing. We'll be back in 1 minute with the home half of the 4th. The Flyers have scored every inning thus far. Try and continue that trend when we're back in a minute on Flyer Media Productions and AM 960 KLTF Little Falls. We can close the door on Adam Winkles. He goes 3 innings. The 7 runs were surrendered, but of those, be kind of tricky to figure out how many of them were actually earned runs. I think the Flyers got about 2 or 3 earned runs, and the others were errors that allowed the players to reach, depending on how you ruled some of the scoring plays. But Little Falls, the only thing that really does matter right now, leads 7-0 as we go to the home half of the 4th inning. Flyers trying to finish the regular season above 500 at home. They're 7-0 on the road. They're 3-3 at home, 2-0 at the neutral sites. A swing and a miss. Strike 1 to Joe Allholm. Allholm reached on a couple of errors. He did have a single his last time up, and an error allowed him to go to second. He scored both times. This is a fly ball in foul territory. The third baseman makes the grab. And Alholm is retired for the first time today. A fly out to the third baseman. And now Jake Capan will bat for Little Falls. Capan flew out to the third baseman on a similar play to what we just saw off the bat of Alholm in the first inning. Then he flew out to deep left for a sacrifice fly his last time up. Didn't get the home run, but with runners at second and third, he drove in the run from third base. It was a quality at bat with the RBI by Jake Capan. This one grounded in foul territory, a sharp hopper towards the coach, Chad Kaditz. Count even, 1-1 strike. Jake Capan, the shortstop for Little Falls. Sitting back on this delivery, and this pitch is foul tip, strike 2. So 1-2 the count. Jack Opatz is now in the game. He did not start. Winkles was the starter. A 1-2 count to Jake Capan. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Little Falls up 7-0, and that pitch fouled again. So the count remains 1-2 strikes. Little after 6 o'clock on AM 960 KLTF Little Falls. Online, fallsradio.com with the MSBN site. Also, Flyer Media Production, several avenues to watch. Another foul ball. A 2-strike count, and Capan expanding his strike zone to protect the plate and stay alive. So Jake Capan batting with 1 out here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. 7-0, Little Falls in front. And that pitch down and away. Ball 2. 2-2 the count. Now here's a situation that could unfold. 10-run rule goes into effect after 5. If Little Falls scores 3 or more this inning, could be 3 outs away from a victory here and a conference title. A foul ball down the line. Jake Capan. It was in fair territory by about 5 to 7 feet as it went over third base. But then the action on the ball was hooking foul, and it stayed in the air long enough before it crossed, and it bounced about a foot or 2 foul off the bat of Jake Capan, and it'll just be another 2-strike foul. 2-2 count to Capan, and this one he lifts high in the air towards left field in the corner. The Exchange Arena, goodbye, a home run. Jake Capan has just given the Flyers an 8-0 lead against the Albany Huskies. The last time these two teams played, Little Falls jumped up 8-0, but that was in the first inning. Now today, Little Falls scores the first 8 runs again. This time, it takes 3 1/3 innings. But Jake Capan hits one off the Exchange Arena. The power driving that one to left field. And now A.J. Jenks, who's got a 2-run home run today, flies one up in the air. And this one is going to be in fair territory and drop for a single. No man's land. Falling in front of the right fielder behind the first baseman. Second baseman couldn't get to it. A.J. single. He thought about running for a second, but put the brakes on. Sean Alholm right there to tell him to hold. Wasn't going to be able to make it to second easily, so stay at first, and Hunter Swanson will bat with a runner aboard. And this one off the front of home plate, a really bad bounce for the Huskies. The Flyers are going to have a runner take second and thought about taking 3. A.J. Jenks stops at second. That was just a terrible bounce for the Huskies. The catcher, Olmscheid, didn't have a chance at it. It bounced off the front of home plate and went about 20 feet in the air. And now Swanson lifts this one high in the air to the edge of the infield. First baseman underneath, backtracking, makes the grab, and Swanson flies out to the first baseman. And now Derek Poser is at the plate. Theoretically, Poser could represent what could be a winning run if Little Falls got 2 more runs this inning, and then scoreless top half of the 5th, they'd win the Granite Ridge Conference title outright. They've already got a share. They've got 2 more games in the Granite Ridge, including today against Albany and next Tuesday against Becker. They're at Monticello tomorrow. This pitch down and away, 1-1 the count. If Little Falls wins either one of these contests, they get the Granite Ridge Conference title outright. Aspirations for this team is even higher than that, but that's still a goal. A grounder to the shortstop, fielded cleanly. The throw is a little low, and it's into foul territory. This is going to be another error, allowing another run to score. A.J. Jenks with 2 outs was at third, saw the ball get to the fence line, and came home to score. So Derek Poser reaches on an error to the shortstop. And now Mitch Boros will bat for the Flyers. Well, it was Boros, but this is Sam Himley's spot. Himley has come in for Mitch Boros at third base last inning. So Sam Himley will bat. Sam Himley, an opportunity here. Little Falls gets another run. They'd be up 10 and theoretically 3 outs away from a conference title. Already in great situation. 9-0 the score in the bottom of the 4th. This pitch taken for a strike. Ball got away from the catcher, Olmscheid, but he got it back before the catcher or before the runner could advance. Derek Poser, although Christian Brink is the courtesy runner for Poser, this one is lifted towards the corner and fading foul in the right field side. So Sam Himley at the plate, Christian Brink, the runner at first for Little Falls. Flyers are in front 9-0. Little Falls in front right now. The Flyers on Senior Day leading 9-0. They are 12-5 on the season, 8-2 in the Granite Ridge Conference. A win today would win the conference title outright. Himley watches this one high, gets by the catcher, and that's going to be another base taken by the Flyer runners. So Christian Brink will get to second. And we've got a ball that went behind the backstop. We'll see if one of the Flyer personnel go to get it. And a chopper towards the second baseman. Tough second hop, fielded. Throw over to first in time. And Sam Himley is retired on a 4-3 ground out. But a couple more runs come in to score. One of them was unearned. The other one very much earned. A home run off the bat of Jake Capan. And the Flyers go to the top of the 5th, leading 9.
That most less like
And Carter Philippi tried beating it out for an infield single, but a solid defensive play and a 6-3 ground out. And for the 5th straight inning, A.J. Jenks first out of the inning. So he's 5 for 5 in that regard. Now 0-1, working ahead of the hitter. 0-2 after a swing and a miss. Owen Meyer behind in the count. Meyer struck out swinging his last time up. 5 strikeouts for A.J. Jenks. Just about through the second time through the order. And this pitch, a breaking ball that stayed up and brushed the hitter off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A 1-2 count, 1 down, top of the 5th. Fastball, swing and a miss, maybe a foul tip, but the catcher, Tchaikovsky, held on behind home plate. It's strike 3. And A.J. Jenks has just picked up his second strikeout against Meyer, but the 6th strikeout and the second out of the 5th inning. Little Falls in front 9-0. And now Jenks facing the number 9 hitter, and this one's going to go towards some of the fans and almost hit one of the neighboring radio stations calling the game here in Little Falls. A high fly ball that just went over the edge of the fence in the backstop, but everybody's safe and sound. So an 0-1 count, 2 outs. Carter Kotzer at the plate. Reminds me, I got to start bringing a glove for some of these games. That does happen occasionally. Here is strike 0-2 the count to Carter Kotzer, who grounded out to the shortstop his last time up. So an 0-2 count. A pitcher's count for A.J. Jenks. And swing and a miss, strike 3. Jenks, he appears to be getting stronger as the game goes along. But it may not go along very much longer. Little Falls is 1 run away from victory because we played 5 for Albany's batting. If the Flyers score a run, they claim victory here in the bottom half of the 5th. We'll be back, see if they can do it in 1 minute. You're listening or watching Flyer Baseball on Flyer Media Productions and AM 960 KLTF. Back to Flyer Field in 1 minute. To run every inning. If they do so here in the 5th, it's game over. They're up 9-0 because they're batting in the home half of the 5th. If the Flyers score, this game comes to a close, and with it, it would be a clinching run for a Granite Ridge Conference title and a walk-off at home, a walk-off of sorts on Senior Day. 7 seniors this year for the Little Falls baseball team. Austin Wise, Mitchell Boros, Hunter Swanson, Adam Josephson, Derek Poser, Brett Tchaikovsky, and Noah Gendro. They all got the start. And batting for Little Falls, this is a pinch hitter. Andrew Murad takes a first pitch, ball 1. And it's another change on the mound for the Huskies. Max Glatzmeyer. And he had a very jerky arm delivery that last pitch, a 1-1 count. A right-hander, and this one bounces in front of home plate, 2-1 the count. Not a traditional pitch, and for our Flyer media production, camera crew getting an excellent view of the elbow comes up and then he snaps it forward. That pitch missed outside. Ball 3. 3-1 the count to pinch hitter Andrew Murad. hitting for Adam Josephson. And that one, ball 4. So the winning run is aboard for Little Falls. And batting for Noah Gendro is Dylan Lukasavich. So Dylan Lukasavich batting for the Flyers. A chance to be a hero of sorts. Little Falls played well. The throw over to first, not in time. Head first slide, getting back. Representing the winning run is Murad at first base because Little Falls is up 9-0. 10-run rule goes into effect after 5 innings. The Huskies have already batted in the 5th. So if Little Falls takes a 10-run lead from here on out, it would be game over. That pitch was taken for a strike, 0-1, the count to Lukasavich. And this one is hit towards left field and coming in, and the catch is made. Oh, that one was down almost for an extra base hit from Dylan Lukasavich. He hit it well, but it ends up being a flyout, more of a line out to left field off the bat of Dylan Lukasavich. And now batting for Little Falls, Ben Sawada. So Ben Sawada is the new hitter for the Flyers. Little Falls trying to drive in that run from first base with 1 out here in the bottom half of the 5th. Glatzmeyer, his unorthodox delivery, and this one's hit towards left, coming, making a diving catch. The catch is made and left again. Ben Sawada lines out to left, and every once in a while in high school athletics, you just got to tip your hat to an opponent. In left field, Ethan Navratil just made back-to-back catches. Assuming that's still him, I know the order is a little different defensively for the Huskies because of the pitcher changes they've had the last couple innings. This pitch is a strike to Joe Alholm. So runner at first should get an excellent jump off of contact. And that pitch is high, ball 1. 1-1 the count. So Joe Alholm at the plate. And then Jake Capan, who hit a round tripper his last time up, on deck. This one is hit, a 2-hopper, 3-hopper, fielded by the shortstop, throw over to second. They get the force out there, a turn, and Alholm is retired on a 6-3 ground out, or at least the force out is turned from the runner that walked a little earlier this inning. So we'll go to the top of the 6th. The score remains Little Falls 9, Albany nothing. The Flyers will have to defend again. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Flyer Baseball or watching it with Flyer Media Productions today on AM 960 KLTF and also with Flyer Media. Back in 1 minute to Flyer Field. Little Falls in front, 9-0. Top of the 6th is next. AM 960 KLTF and online at fallsradio.com. A.J. Jenks on the mound. First pitch taken for a strike. This is the top of the order now for the Huskies. Derek Mellisman at the plate. He's 0 for 2. He grounded out to the second baseman, and then he struck out his last time up. An 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2 the count to Mellisman. He started the game at shortstop for the Huskies. Some defensive changes have been made for both teams. Little Falls going to their bench with some of the hitters last inning with a 9-0 lead. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Mellisman strikes out swinging for the second time today. And A.J. Jenks has just struck out dating back to last inning, his third straight hitter. That's strikeout number 8. Did walk those back-to-back hitters in the second inning. Also gave up a double to Isaac Nett, who's now the new hitter for the Huskies, and he was the last hitter to reach. There's one out. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Little Falls in front 9-0. A fly ball, and this one, it started in fair territory. It's going to be fielded right near the line by Jake Capan, the shortstop. Came over to field it all the way near the third base line. Himley was there, but the shortstop Capan called him off, and the catch is made by the shortstop right near the third base area. Capan got an excellent read on it and made the grab in fair territory, and now Ryan Olmscheid will bat with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. And this pitch taken low for a ball, 1-0 the count. Now, there are pitch counts in high school baseball now where players are not allowed to go farther than a certain amount. Swing and a miss, strike one, excuse me. Now the count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. I don't think AJ's anywhere near the 105 pitch count. Last couple innings, he's been getting stronger as the game goes along. This time, again, bouncing off the front of home plate, and the lip of the home plate on the front side just seemed to have a little extra bounce, and it went high in the air. Now a 2-1 count. Seen that a couple times today. This pitch missed high, and 3-1 the count. A hitter's count to Ryan Olmscheid, who is 0 for 2 today. He struck out swinging, and he flew out to the catcher in foul territory his last time up. It was a nice grab made by Brett Chakowski. And this one's hit high in the air, and the outfield converging on it, calling for it, and making the grab in left field. I think that's Dylan Lukasavich that came into the game last inning for Noah Gendro. And Lukasavich made the grab for the third and final out of the top of the 6th inning. The score remains 9-0. Little Falls in front, just as in the 5th inning. If Little Falls scores a run, it'd be game over. Flyers to bat next. Jake Capan leads it off in a minute on AM 960 KLTF and online fallsradio.com. Back in 1 minute with Flyer Media Productions and KLTF. Four hitters to hit will lead off this inning. Jake Capan and AJ Jinks. They've gone deep into the bench the last couple innings with some pinch hitters and substitutions. But right now, Jake Capan leads it off. Glatzmeyer throws home, and this one's a chopper down the third baseline and foul. So 0-1 the count to Jake Capan. He is 1 for 3 today. Flew out in foul territory to the third baseman, also flew out to deep left, and then hit a home run to left field. It was a solo blast his last time up by Jake Capan. Now a 1-1 pitch as that pitch missed outside. And that pitch left up high. 2-1 the count to Jake Capan. AJ Jinks on deck, and then Hunter Swanson would follow in the order. Looks like Anthony Vetter might be hitting for him. A chopper foul, so the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jake Capan. Little Falls leading 9-0, bottom of the 6th. In firm control here, this pitch high, ball 3. Representing the winning run is Jake Capan because of the 10-run rule. And if Little Falls fails to score, they'd be 3 outs away from victory defensively anyways. This pitch high, ball 4, and Jake Capan will reach on a walk. So now A.J. Jinks will bat. And Vetter is on deck. He would be hitting for Hunter Swanson. Vetter was playing first base a little earlier this year when Swanson was still recovering from a leg injury he suffered way back in football season and re-aggravated since then. Jinks, high fly ball towards center field, and the catch is made in center, and A.J. is retired on the first pitch. And that'll bring up Anthony Vetter with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Runner Jake Capan at first. Flyers scored a run in each of the first 4 innings. 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Held scoreless in the 5th inning. Here we are in the 6th, and Little Falls is leading 9-0. This pitch down in the dirt, smothered by the catcher. I think it's still Olmscheid, the catcher. They might have shuffled it around a little bit for the Huskies. Runner at first taking the lead is Capan. Glatzmeyer misses high. Now 2-0 the count. So Vetter the hitter for Little Falls. Anthony Vetter waiting this 2-1 pitch, and that one is a strike at the knees. That was at a 2-0 pitch. Now it's 2-1 the count. So 2 balls, 1 strike to Vetter. Capan, the runner at first. Little Falls in front 9-0. In this featured game, it is a conference and section game for Little Falls. Flyers in a tight race with Alexandria for the number 2 seed. That would probably be a second-round matchup, and the 2 seed would host the other team. And that pitch was high, ball 4. So a 5-pitch walk issued by Glatzmeyer, and Vetter is aboard. So Anthony Vetter reaches on a walk, and that moves Capan into scoring position at second base. And that pitch high and inside. We've got another substitute hitter there, pinch hitter for the Flyers. And that pitch taken for a ball. Brett Chakowski. So Chakowski, he was not batting at the start of the game because the DH, Derek Poser, was batting for him. Now Chakowski is batting. 2-1 after he took that last pitch for a strike. So Brett Chakowski at the plate. And this one's a chopper towards short. The force, they'll get the out at first, but that they thought about trying turn 2 to go, but instead turned and got the force out at third, get the lead runner. So Vetter, or Chakowski, reaches on a fielder's choice. Vetter moves over to second base. And we'll have hitter Sam Himley at the plate with runners at first and second. And a hit here could drive in the winning run. 9-0 the score. Little Falls in front. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. If Little Falls wins, and they're in good shape right now, they'll get the Granite Ridge Conference title outright. This one is driven towards the gap in right center. Center fielder cuts it off, but not before Vetter comes home to score the 10th and winning run for the Little Falls Flyers, and an RBI double by Sam Himley, and Little Falls will claim the Granite Ridge Conference title outright. So Vetter came in to score from third. Chakowski moved over to third on the play. Sam Himley a double towards center field, and that is a game-winning double for Sam Himley and the Little Falls Flyers, who win 10-0 in 6 innings. The 10-run rule goes into effect after 5. We needed 6 here today, And the Little Falls Flyers with a 10-0 win over the Albany Huskies. They sweep the season series. They won 13-8 in Avon about a month ago, and now here today they win 10-0 over the Huskies in a potential playoff preview. The Flyers will open up the playoffs a week from Tuesday. They've still got 2 more games on the regular season schedule, and that includes tomorrow at Monticello and then at Becker next Tuesday. And then the Flyers would open up the playoffs. If it would start today, they'd be opening with Fergus Falls, but realistically, they'd have a chance to host Thief River Falls, Sartell, Fergus Falls, Albany, or DL. Everybody's so close based on how things are shaping up. But Albany is a very realistic possibility that Little Falls could be seen in the first round of the playoffs, and the Flyers took care of the Huskies today, 10-0 in Little Falls. Little Falls wins their 7th straight. We'll come back with our post-game coverage on both Flyer Media Productions and AM 960 KLTF Little Falls. We'll see if we can visit with the head coach of the Little Falls Flyers, Chad Kaditz, and talk to him, congratulating him on the conference title along with the Flyer personnel for this year's club. But Little Falls wins in 6 innings, 10-0. Post-game show next in 2 minutes on AM 960 KLTF, online at fallsradio.com, and Flyer Media Productions. Back with your post-game show in 2 minutes. Watch and view or listen, depending on which avenue you're following along with the Flyer baseball coverage today. But it was Senior Day here in Little Falls, and a happy day for the seniors. All 7 seniors for this Little Falls baseball program got to start and helped and contributed in a 10-0 win over the Albany Huskies. The 7 seniors this year's club: Austin Wise, Mitchell Boros, Hunter Swanson, Adam Josephson, Derek Poser, Brett Chakowski, and Noah Gendro. Whatever they're able to do here for the rest of the season, they've accomplished a lot here as baseball players for Little Falls. And I'm thinking they're going to have an opportunity to do a little bit more here as we get to the postseason. Fan of these guys couple of years, seeing them grow up into the program. And it seems every year there's another batch of seniors that are really special. And those guys are certainly an integral part of last year's third-place run at the state tournament. And that's just one of the reasons why I think this team is poised to make a deep run, but what we saw today was a sound baseball game played by one team, and that was the Little Falls Flyers. For the Albany Huskies, down a little bit this year, usually a very rich program in the baseball, but just not their strongest of teams this year. Feel a little bit for the program, losing 7 straight. It gets frustrating when you can't seem to get the results going your way, but the Little Falls just in every facet of the game today was better on the all-around team, and not the least of which 0 errors for the Flyers defensively. You talk about defensively, the speed that Little Falls has, 47 stolen bases coming into today offensively, but how about the danger that speed can present defensively? The outfield from left to right for Little Falls, Josephson, also Poser, you've got Austin Wise, the players that are normally in there today. Noah Gendro was out in left field. A very, very good outfield for the Flyers. Then the infield, normally third baseman A.J. Jinks today was pitching, but you've also got Jake Capan, Joe Allholm, and Hunter Swanson, and then Brett Chakowski behind home plate. Just a very, very solid defensive lineup for the Little Falls Flyers, and they end up with a 10-0 victory over the Albany Little Falls with a win here. Let's talk. That's Austin Wise started him off for the Flyers. He was in that 0-2 count, drew it back to a full count pitch, and then got the single, a run scored, also a double and a run scored for Austin Wise. He had 2 for 4 overall on the day, and he ended up with 2 runs scored for Little Falls. Also, Allholm had a pair of runs for Little Falls. He singled and he reached on an error and came around to score. Jake Capan hit a home run today for Little Falls. A.J. Jinks hit a home run in the first inning, a 2-run blast. He also singled and reached on an error. Hunter Swanson reached on a walk. It was down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes, and then he ended up reaching on a walk. But also, Vetter came in, walked in his appearance, and as we were talking, Anthony Vetter ended up walking, and in that 6th inning came around to score the game's winning run. Derek Poser and Brett Chakowski teaming up in the DH and catcher spot for Little Falls. Mitch Boros and Sam Himley reached on a couple plays. Sam Himley had the double that ended up clinching the victory, and then Adam Josephson and Andrew Murad ended up playing well too. But we're going to talk right now with one of the Little Falls Flyers, one of the stars of the day, A.J. Jinks from the mound. A.J., tell us a little bit about the stuff you thought you had going for you, especially hammering on the strike zone.
Well, lately I picked up on a new pitch called the cutter, and I think that's really been my go-to pitch lately. It's kind of really been a key part of my pitching rotation. I just really love that pitch. It fools hitters a lot.
Yeah, and another thing you were certainly doing here today, and I know the pitching staff has talked about it, getting ahead of the hitters and also getting ahead of the team. You were 6 for 6 in getting the first batter retired every single inning. Talk about how important it is to get the first hitter retired overall.
Right, that's one of our key points in our dugout. We got to get the first out of the inning, and that usually leads to just a short inning or no runs scored.
And as I started off in our post-game coverage, A.J. Jinks we're visiting with here in our post-game show. I was talking about defensively, Little Falls, really all across the diamond, a solid defensive team. What confidence does it give you as a pitcher that you can throw pitches across the strike? You don't have to strike them out on every pitch because you can be confident the defensive players are going to make the play behind you.
Yeah, I love my defense. I know it makes it a heck of a lot easier to just throw strikes and let the hitters hit it because I trust my defense. I know every player out there. It makes it a heck of a lot easier.
And speaking of letting the hitters hit it, offensively, the Flyers have been on a bit of a tear, yourself included, and you got the scoring going early on here today. Talk about the offense. The confidence is there. This is just a little different than early in the season when it seemed like things are struggling. Things just seem to be coming pretty easily for this lineup. Whatever it is, keep doing it. And for your efforts here today, AJ, I'm going to get you the Pizza Ranch Player of the Game award. You threw the shutout. You got, I think it was 8 different strikeouts, just the 2 walks and the 1 hit overall, and also the 2-run home run. How nice off the exchanger. That's got to feel pretty good.
Oh, you know, it felt great. I just, I've been waiting for it. But it finally happened.
It finally happened. It came today for Little Falls, the 10-0 win. Granite Ridge Conference champ. Thank you very much for your time in the postgame coverage, AJ.
All right, thanks, Court.
AJ Jenks, our Pizza Ranch Player of the Game award winner for today. So congratulations to AJ and the Little Falls Flyers who pick up a victory. So Little Falls overall now on the year is 13-5. They are 9-2 in the Granite Ridge Conference, and they end up with the victory here today over the Albany Huskies, a 10-0 win. Really smiles all around for the Little Falls Flyers, who have a couple more days left of the regular season, including tomorrow they will be at Monticello, and then on Tuesday they will be at Becker. So those are upcoming games for Little Falls. Flyer Media Production's been a lot of fun. This was their last game of the season for AM 960 KLTF and Little Falls Radio. We'll have an opportunity to cover all the Flyer baseball games in the postseason. You'll have to listen to figure out if baseball and softball play at the same time, but we plan on covering all the baseball and softball games for Little Falls. The playoffs in softball for Little Falls start a week from tonight against an opponent to be determined. Little Falls, they're either going to be the 2 or the 3 seed, and they're going to host a game on Tuesday, May 30th, right here on AM 960 KLTF. So congratulations, AJ Jenks and the rest of the Little Falls Flyers. A 10-0 win over the Albany Huskies. And my name is Corey Fink with Little Falls Radio for Flyer Media Productions and Ryan Klasowski, our game engineer, all the sponsors on Little Falls Radio. Thank you for listening and enjoying Flyer baseball tonight. A 10-0 win, Little Falls over Albany on AM 960 KLTF. Good night, everybody.